Saw kerf is the offset in our saw teeth. And many times individuals will think their blade's no longer good, and it's really just that their kerf closed a little bit and it needs to be reset. When we think about a saw blade and we think all the teeth are in a line, they're really not straight like this to each other. They should be offset, and that is saw kerf. That is going to be the offset in each tooth. There are several things you can use to reset the kerf on your saw. A nail is going to be the simplest. Of course, a piece of round stock, if you just file it off, works just as well as a nail. Or you can go ahead and look around at some old tool shops or flea markets and find an actual saw set. We're not going to talk much about saw sets today, but all that these devices are really is that there's a metal plunger that pushes against an anvil on this side, and as we set the tooth in there, we compress and set the teeth that way. It makes it just a little bit easier, but I've done this several times with these two things here and it works just fine, and I get my kerf back and I'm back in business in no time. When we're going to set teeth on a saw blade, I like to start at the end of the saw blade and work in one direction because you're going to lose track where you're at and you don't want to do that. What we're looking for is the sharpened teeth, the teeth that when we look at it don't look smooth, but they look like they have a razor edge on them. All right, that's the tooth that we're going to start with setting. So we're going to do all those teeth in one direction, which is this way, and then we're going to flip the blade over and do the same thing to this other teeth. So all it is a very simple process. You take your nail, you put it in the middle of the tooth, you take your axe and tap. You don't have to tap very hard. If you move it away and you see a small indent in the wood that you're working on, you probably set the tooth enough. Remember, it's a very minute change, but it's going to be drastically better for cutting. Just go down the line. Again, this is the sharpened tooth. So on this blade, it's every other tooth. I'm going to tap. Of course, smooth tooth I'm not doing. Sharpened tooth I'm doing. Again, tap it. And I'm just going to continue this down the blade. That's saw kerf. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I can personally say I have done this in the field several times. I've never had to sharpen a saw blade. I have sharpened saw blades just because I wanted to touch them up, but the majority of the time if a blade's not working, it's due to the kerf starting to close in. And that happens a lot from negligence, but it also happens if you're just using the saw, even if you're using it properly all the time, that kerf starts to close in a little bit and doesn't allow the saw to function as well. So give this a shot, take a look at your saws, you'll see that offset in teeth, and then you'll know how to fix your saw blades when you're out and about to make them most optimal for performance. This was Dan Wowak, Cold Cracker Bushcraft. If you haven't already, check us out at coldcrackerbushcraft.com, and until the next video, stay in the woods, guys.